Good morning, it's Tuesday the 29th of June and I'm now off work for 3 days, so I'm going to carry on with some work on the boat. As you know, last week I painted the cream paintwork on the roof. Whilst doing that, I noticed that the green bands that run across the roof looked a little bit tired, and although I know I've got the original paint, it doesn't match. I've tried it. So I've decided I'm going to paint them and the air vent mushrooms gloss black. Now I did degrease them on Sunday and give them a good wash down with soapy water, and I used some scouring pad just to loosen off any small amounts of rust or debris, so it's prepared ready for painting. So the one thing I've found that since I've painted the roof is when I get up in the morning and there's been a bit of a dew or slight rain and it's warm, everybody else's boat, the roofs are dry, and this paint that I've put on is so it's almost like it's almost given a finish a bit like a lacquered finish, and the rain beads and sits, so it's caused me a bit of an issue today because I need to mask off some of the cream paint work before I can start painting the green bands. And I'll show you in a minute, there's a bit too much moisture on the roof, so I've got another task that I need to do, and I've already made a bit of a start, but I'm going to show you anyway, and hopefully it'll improve the appearance of the boat. It's going to take me 2 weeks. I've got 3 days off this week and I'm off again next week, the same, so I intend to sort half of it this week, half of it next week. So I need to get some overalls on because today is going to be a bit of a dirty day and a dirty job, and I'll take you with me and show you what I'm planning on doing. Right, as you can see close on the roof, you'll see they've still got rain, which is slowly getting dried off. I do need to put tape on all this, so I need to leave it a little bit longer. So today's major task, well the next 3 days major task, is I want to buff the side of the boat. And I'm going to use this bad boy called Bertie the Buffer. This is a polishing mop sponge, and I've got a white one that I'm going to use to put the compound and work that on the side of the boat. I just want to show you where these ladders are. I've done a little bit just to give you an example of how I'm hoping it's going to end up looking, but you'll just see how dull this paintwork is. I'm just going to move these ladders. Now, obviously the streaks on there is from where I've washed the boat. As I move the camera across to my right, you'll see the area that I've already compounded. And hopefully, now this hasn't been waxed and polished yet, but that's the difference. If I turn the camera now the other way and look down the side of the boat, now you can see my neighbour's boat there, the cream of his boat. If I turn it back, look how much pronounced it is there. And this is before I've polished, and I'm going to put a ceramic clear coat over the top, which is what the guys in the what I call car detailing business, where they really make your car look like new. That's what they use after they've polished, so I'm going to give that a whirl. So I'm going to set the camera up. As I say, I'm going to use this, now this is a variable speed, which is a great piece of kit. I can then dial, you can just see where I'm at, there you go, look. When you're compounding, you don't want to be putting it on at high speed. So you've got, I normally set it about 1.5, which is about 1500 revs. And then if you're polishing, you can turn it up obviously to a higher setting. And this will just take all the arm ache of rubbing and rubbing like you would if you was using T-cut. Now I'm going to use a professional cutting compound, which I'm just going to show you. It's not cheap, but by crikey, the reckon it's good. So let me just show you that. Now this is the rubbing compound that I'm going to put on the buffing pad. It's a G360 super fast compound from Fosella. I have used a similar compound of theirs in the past, and this is relatively new out on the market, and according to the guys who do paintwork restoration on classic cars, etc., this is the one to go for. Now this is a 1 litre bottle, and it retails at about £29, so it's a lot dearer than buying such as T-cut, but they say that the end result is far better. So I'm going to prepare my buffing machine. I'm going to take off the dark polishing mop, and I'm going to put on a white compounding mop, and then we just need to spray some water over the surface, which I'm going to do because it does need a little bit of water to lubricate. And I'm going to prep the area, so you'll see if I put the camera up exactly how I'm going to approach it. This is just to show you that the paintwork to the left of the area that I'm working on is really dull. Now bear in mind I have actually polished this boat twice in the 15 months I've owned it, and I mean deep polish, not just a wax over. So I'm hoping this time using the ceramic coating that I'm going to use, it'll hold the shine much longer. Now I was making great progress on the side, but eventually the rain decided to come, and I thought it may be a good idea to put all the electrics back on the stern deck under the cover. And I'm just walking down the side of the boat to show you how far I've got. And again, when I get down to the bow, you'll see as I look back up the boat the great difference between the original paintwork and how it looks once you've compounded it. Now of course you could do this by hand using a T-cut type of product, but I do think it's worth the investment. Just under £30 as I say for a litre of this compound. And if you haven't got a buffer, ask if a friend can borrow you one, or even consider hiring one. You'd be able to do the whole boat in a day if the weather's allowing. The sun's eventually decided to show itself and has nicely dried off the side that I've now prepared. And as you can see how lovely and clean and smooth this is, and the next job is to get a good coating of wax, and then once I've buffered that, I'm going to apply a ceramic coating which should hold the shine, it says, for up to 12 months. So let's see. Having finished buffering the side of the boat, I decided to mask off the green bands that go across the top of the boat, and I actually applied the first coat of black paint on the first band, and I was going to do the next the following morning, but as I'll show you, that wasn't such a good idea. Now this is the following morning, and as you can see, the issue I had was that tapes wouldn't actually stay down when I tried to apply them onto the Symphony paint, which is the cream paint that I've already done the roof with. So I then decided to paint the black stripes across using freehand style. Good morning, it's Wednesday the 30th of June, and as you've seen from the videos I've already put on in this vlog, I've completely now compounded the port side of Freedom, and I've actually waxed and polished up to the hatch doors. So today I'm going to wax forward of the hatch doors down to the bow, and then I'm going to ceramic coat it. So I'm not going to video a lot of it because obviously it's a bit like watching paint dry, but I just wanted to share with you. This is the I don't know if you can see this, I'm not promoting it, but this is what I use. Here's the wax that I actually put on the boat. It's a smallish tin, it's 311 gram, it says, 11 ounces, and it's £25 for a tin, but it is very good. So I'm going to coat the forward of the hatch section of the boat with that, and then on the buffer I've changed the head now to my polishing head. So this is a very soft head, and what I intend to do is, once the wax has had a chance to harden, I'm going to take off the initial surface of it with a microfiber cloth. Then I'm going to buff the whole to the side of the boat, or forward of the hatch obviously, with that soft buffer. And then I'm going to use something that's new to me, and again, I'm not promoting it, there's other products and I'm sure everybody have their own choices. This is Turtle Wax Ceramic Wet Wax. Now, I've done a little bit of research, and this seems to be the latest thing that people who do the car detailing, you know, when you book your car in and you pay £200 to £300 and they go completely through your car and it comes back looking like a brand new car. Ceramic Wet Wax I've picked up in error. I actually wanted Turtle Wax Ceramic Wax. Now, wet wax, the only difference is, as the name suggests, you can actually put it on while the bodywork's wet. So what I'm going to do, once I've polished the forward section of the port side and I'm ready for putting this coating on, I'm going to spray the panel with a light mist of my plant sprayer. And then the idea is you give it a couple of squirts of this. You don't need a lot of it. Luckily you don't need a lot of it because this is £14.5 for a bottle that size, so it's not cheap. And as you dry off that mist of damp that you've put on the panel with your microfiber cloth, it layers this on top of your original wax that you've put on there. And the more that you buff it by hand, the more it shines. Now, the reason I'm going to use this is I'm going to see if it'll hold the shine on the boat. Because I have noticed in the past when I've used just a wax, buffed it up, within 3 or 4 weeks it started to go dull again. So I'm just going to see if this is as good as they say it is and it holds the shine. It will obviously make it more resilient to water and rain obviously, and it does apparently keep a lot of the dirt off because of this ceramic protection. So we're going to give that a whirl. No guarantees, but you know, nothing ventured, nothing gained. It's a new product and it's new to me, and I'll be interested to see how it turns out. Now, last night I thought I'd be clever and mask off the crossbands on the roof, and that wasn't such a good idea because now I've painted the cream paint on the roof. The tape that I've put down so I can paint the crossbands black, most of it is actually lifted up because it's so shiny a paint. It's not it's not been a very good successful idea. So what I'm going to do today, after I've waxed and polished and put the ceramic coating on the side, then I'm going on the roof of Freedom and I'm going to paint the crossbands. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to mask each crossband as I go. So when I put the very first thin coat of black paint on, as it goes onto the edge of the masking tape, it will hold it where it needs to be, just while I get the second coat on, which I'm hoping to do later today because it only needs 4 hours between coats. And then this evening, later on this evening, I'm hoping to get the masking tape off. Failing that, I'll do it first thing in the morning, so I can video the results of that. So quite a busy day ahead, and I'm not going to video you loads of it because obviously, as I say, it's a bit like watching paint dry, but it just gives you an idea of how I do what I do. And as I say, I'm not suggesting that everybody does it this way. It's what works for you. So without any further ado, I need to get on. I've now applied the ceramic coating to the complete port side, and I've gone over it again with a yellow microfiber to buff up the shine. And like I say, you could use the electric buffer, but I've done it by hand. A, because I like to, and B, so I don't annoy the neighbours too much with the machine. See what you think. So this is just a reminder by showing you the starboard side, which I'm going to be doing this next week, just how bad the port side was before I started to cut and compound, wax and ceramic coat. And I do hope you agree that yes, it's quite a bit of effort, but the end result is definitely worth it. Now this is the paint that I've used for the stripes across the top of the roof, and I've chosen this because I've done the gas lock and the engine bay in the same make and found it lovely to work with. And it does come with a 10-year guarantee, and you don't need any fancy terps to clean your brushes. So this is just to show that the roof is now completely finished. I've painted the hatch and the mushroom, air vent mushrooms, and the 5 green bands. They've all had a coat, well, they've had 2 coats of the black gloss metal paint, and I do think it's definitely given Freedom a facelift. I don't know about you, but I'm getting ready for a cider. Do you fancy one? Cider of the week. Before I do this week's... Misty, will you stop banging your tail on the floor? Can you hear it? Before I do this week's review, I just want to apologise for the fact that I up to date produced 50 vlogs, and this last week I deliberately didn't post a vlog on YouTube. I'm not going to go into the depths of it all, other than to say that I discovered a very, I don't know, a lesson. In my naivety, when I came to live in a marina, I thought that everybody had the same relaxed outlook on life as I was looking for when I bought Freedom. And the reason I bought Freedom is not just because she's a beautiful boat, but the name and the way it's been sign written now sums up exactly why I'm here. Because Misty and Me chose to live our lives with freedom. And things had happened this last week, beginning of the week, while I was working on the boat, and it's made me stop and take stock. 3-4 nights of no proper sleep, and I must confess that I had seriously considered selling Freedom, buying a motorhome, and we would explore different avenues of freedom. And I was going to shut the YouTube channel down and shut the group page down. That's how much it knocked me for 6. The reason I'm telling you this is not just to apologise for not posting last week's vlog, is to make you aware that if you are looking to buy a boat, please don't fall into that disillusionment that I did, that everybody who lives on a boat is going to have the same relaxed lifestyle attitude as yourself. Just be on your guard. Now, as I say, I got knocked for 6 and I'm slowly but surely pulling myself up. And that's down to the fact that I am very, very fortunate that I have around me friends and damn good neighbours. And I don't mean by neighbour it's somebody who's tied up at the side of you. I mean neighbours who share the same pontoon. And people in the marina themselves who are aware that I was in a bit of a dark place, who I've normally only just said good morning to or hi, how's your dog, have taken the trouble to take me to one side and actually care and ask how I'm doing and why I feel as I feel, and offered support. And it makes you stop and take a whole new view of everything that's around you. And I've actually got to say that it's through having these good friends that I'm getting back to some kind of normality, and hence this vlog is now coming out this week. And 2 people that help me more than they'll ever understand is Callum and Louise off of Narrowboat Cassandra, who share the same pontoon as myself. And if you remember the last Cider of the week, I happened to mention that I was quite disappointed. I'd found my beer tankard a few weeks before, glass tanker, that had got my name on it. And on the second outing I'd washed it, and when I came to put it away I'd noticed it got a crack in it. And I showed it to the camera and said it doesn't really matter because it still holds fluid, and me being me, I ain't too bothered. And just before all this hassle kicked in, Callum was walking down the pontoon and says to me, I was just going out with Misty, he says, give me a shout when you get back. And I said, oh, did you want to have a look at my roof that I've painted? And he says, no. He said, I've got something for you. When I got back, he handed me this box. I don't know if you can see it says on there, say it with glass. And this is the difference between the kind of people that live on boats. You can read that. No, Misty, it's not something to eat. It says, Martin and Misty aboard Freedom, Cider of the Week. I haven't washed it yet, and I obviously knew what it was before I showed it to you. But I just think that sums up the 2 different kinds of people that live on boats. There's those who actually do genuinely care, and there's those who really just rub along. And I'm very fortunate on this pontoon there's a lot of people who actually care. So thank you, Callum and Louise. I am going to wash this with the greatest of care before I do this week's Cider of the Week, and then I'm going to make sure I wash it in a bowl of water on its own with no other cutlery or anything in there so I don't break it. So, as I keep saying, without any further ado, I'm going to wash this glass and we're going to do Cider of the Week. Thank you, Callum. Thank you, Louise. Thank you, the friends of mine on this pontoon, for keeping me sane. I love you all. I think I'm ready for an haircut. So, it's time for Cider of the Week. Courtesy of my daughter Polly. This week, this is a gift, so I'm not promoting. It's a Brothers Toffee Apple Cider. Now, I did review a few weeks ago the strawberry and cream cider, which I now stock in my fridge because it's very, very nice. And this is a 4%, 330ml bottle, and it's £1.20 to buy. And the description is toffee flavoured cider. Simple as that. So I'm going to use my new tankard, Thank you, Callum and Louise. And like I say every week, let's crack it open. Now, I've never had this before. Oh, it does smell like toffee. Definitely smells like toffee. I think I might only just pour a drop in because I might not like it. So, do you know, it's been a funny day. It's been thunderstorming and now it's lovely and warm. Perfect cider weather. Let's give it a go. Well, I can remember saying that the strawberry and cream that Brothers make tasted like red kids pop. Not kids that are red, but you know what I mean, red kids pop. This also tastes like kids pop. It's quite dangerous, you know, because I think you could drink quite a bit of this before you realise what you've drunk. It doesn't taste like cider to me. And it's got a sweet, like as in a sweet shop sweet taste. Not like sugar. I wouldn't say it was definitely toffee apple, but it's bloody lovely. Full of fizz, nice taste. Not sure if it's something I'd have with a meal, but I would definitely be stocking this in my fridge and having it on a night like tonight. And now I'm saying it, how lovely it is, it's just starting to rain. Unbelievable weather. But back to the cider. £1.20. It's available, I know it's available from B&M Bargain because I've just researched it. My daughter didn't tell me how much it costs, I've had to find out myself. And it's another one that you want to try. You know, these flavoured drinks I think are quite addictive, as in once you've tried one type you're going to want to try others. So get yourself a bottle, see if I'm wrong, but I think you're going to like this one. If you're a cider drinker and you like something that's got a little bit of a sweetness to it, you're going to love it. So till next week, cheers.